Hey guys, welcome to a What's Up Wednesday! Guys, down here in Yuma, we're decided to go to Yuma Territorial Prison. What is it exactly?
So it's a prison from like back in the 1800s. I think it closed in the early 1900s due to overcrowding, but it was considered one of the worst conditions of prisons in the country because first of all, it's in Yuma, Arizona, so it's in the heat of the desert and it's all open. It wasn't enclosed, it wasn't air conditioned or heated or anything like that. So they literally were like out in the desert with no shelter other than the walls around them.
So heat, sandstorms, things like that, those would suck bad.
Yeah, so I mean, we haven't been in there yet, so we're getting ready to go in, but that's what I read about it. So it was supposed to be like the dreaded prison that like one of the worst, actually the worst in the country. So it closed down due to funding and overcrowding back in the early 1900s, but they've left it open. The city of Yuma has left it open as a historical site, so you can go in and tour it. So we were really curious just to check it out. So
Yep.
It sits on the of Arizona and California, and the Colorado River runs right past it. So
Yep, very beautiful.
beautiful area.
That is not the Colorado River. That is a canal for irrigation and things like that. But Colorado River is over in there. So, anyways, we'll go check it out. Okay, guys, there is the Colorado River right there. Right down there in between the trees. Really pretty. Long way out here to get to that. Yeah, this place is pretty cool. Really neat bridge crossing the river too. Read that they pumped water up into this on the bottom parts of the water reservoir. They pumped the water in there, made of granite, and on the top of it they built a guard shack so they could look over everything, see if anybody's trying to escape or break into the prison. So it's pretty cool.
So we're at the top of the guard tower, and you can see how far they can see all across the land there, making sure that nobody escapes from the prison. The Colorado River, which is right over there, prisoners would try to escape and then cross over the Colorado River. Interesting fact, this prison closed in 1909, but during World War II they actually used this tower for spotting, so I thought that was interesting. They also had what they called these dark cells. So if you didn't behave, you would have to go into this, which, this would be like, oh my goodness, look at that. Like there's no windows, there's nothing, and then they close the door. Imagine at night, that would be like pitch black. I would lose my mind. I would probably have a heart attack before I even got out. This is the infirmary here. The infirmary looks as bad as the dark cell. You look inside there. You definitely don't want to get sick here. So, anyway, it's just, I find this stuff very fascinating. Then here you can see is the entrance to where the cells were. And so this is a really good example. They had these gates closed on both sides, and then the gates inside your cell. It's really amazing. Obviously this here has been rebuilt, but it was, these clay walls were all the way around the whole entire thing. And they did have a library that one of the local women had started. So if you had good behavior, you could go to the library. And then what is over here? Check this out. Oh, it's an entrance into more part of the prison. I'll wait for Don because he's on his way. Here he comes.
Here at the Yuma Territorial Prison, it's crazy. It's like a lot of cells going on and on and on. And somebody had a sense of humor, put a plastic rattlesnake in one of the inside the cage edges, so kind of jumped out of my skin there a little bit.
So here is the women's prison that they built a little later. If you look, it's like one big giant cell. It looks like they would room them together, and then over to the right is a window. I don't think you can see it. No, you can't really see it good from here, but there's a window over on that side. So that would be for the women. So this is the insane cell. It's like the dark room. If you weren't already insane, you would totally go insane. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. This is crazy. Just gives me anxiety thinking about it. And they had a peek hole on the outside, so you can look in, I guess, and talk to them, or...
Yeah. You sure it's still breathing?
Yeah, that's like... And this is a solid door, so they don't even have daylight. Wow. So we go through this walkway. It's a low clearance. You're gonna have to duck. Oh, there's more over here. Well, these are worse over here because the other ones, at least you had an opening front and back so you get some airway. Man.
New prison yard.
Yeah, but think about it. If you're here in the heat of the summer in Arizona and you have no air except this tiny little door. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, if it rains, the water may run into your cell.
Yeah, that is true, because if it wasn't flat, like there are a little bit of a slight grade. So over here it says prisoner statistics. Age under 20, 334 people, 20 to 30, 1,000. We had 31 over 60. The youngest prisoner was 14 and the oldest was 88. Education, 1,560 could read and write, 758 could not, 751 were unknown. So something interesting about the new yard that was built in 1900, it was built to relieve the overcrowding. So they built these cells, and it was really, they had these cells for the unruly, which I can understand because it looks pretty scary in there. And then in the center of the yard, they actually had a bunkhouse where they housed those who had tuberculosis. Then this closed down, well, the whole prison closed down in September, let's see, what does it say? September 15th, 1909. They actually, in 1910, had to house it as the high school for Yuma because the Yuma High School burnt down. So they temporarily used this facility for the Yuma High School from 1910 to 1914. And today, Yuma High School's athletic teams are still called the Yuma Criminals, or Crims for short. So that's crazy. Then it also says in the 1920s that it provided free lodging for hobos riding freights through the town, and also sheltered many homeless families during the Depression. So, at least once it shut down, they used it for some other things. But could you imagine this being your high school? Like for 4 years you went to high school here?
Yeah, that'd be crazy.
That would be crazy. It's so funny. So they have 5 prisoners that escaped, but we're not allowed to take pictures of the photographs. But they have this little guy in here as an example.
They might have the rubber snakes in there to keep mice and stuff out.
He's got like some serious eyebrows going on there. Oh, here's a bunkhouse. Look at this. They got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 in this tiny, tiny little space, and then 6 on the other side. Whew, that'd be worse than just having one. There's different sizes too, so. So it says that the prisoners feared and loathed the Territorial prison. It was considered the hellhole. It says that it had insufferable heat that made the place an inferno, surrounded by rivers, quicksand, and desert in all directions, an inhumane snake den, and ball and chain as standard punishment. Tuberculosis was the #1 killer. It had a quote, impossible to endure, more impossible to escape.
Hey guys, we walked through the Yuma Territorial prison here in Yuma, Arizona. It's pretty cool, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was really interesting. It's
Not a
fascinating.
place I would want to be. It was horrible. They said like 6 people to a cell,
No.
bunks, had 1 pot to do your business in between the 6 of you. Super hot in the summers. Said guards like to throw snakes and scorpions in the cells. No, 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 no. And those were the people that were doing what they're supposed to be doing at the prison. They had dark cells. You'd be stripped down to your underwear and thrown there in the complete dark. One person, I guess, was in there up to 100 days. No, thank you.
Yeah,
What'd you
if you were gonna do a crime, this was not the place to do it.
No, not at all.
It was not the state. They also had some people that had escaped the Tombstone jail, and so they ended up getting thrown in this one, which I'm thinking Tombstone might have been a better choice.
Yeah.
But anyway, it was just fascinating. I mean, it's just another part of our history. I had never heard of this place until we got here. Some people had recommended it, and it was well worth the time to invest in it.
Yeah,
It
it's
was
only
just-
like $10 a person or something. So.
Yeah. And it was just, I don't know, it's just always interesting to find out about different parts of our country and things that went on, good and bad. So it's just something else to visit. But it's in Yuma, Arizona. And you're only, if you stay here, I know it's a big place for snowbirds in the winter. But if you happen to come here, it's less than 3 hours to San Diego. So you literally cross over the bridge from Yuma into California, and it's a beautiful, beautiful drive to San Diego. So there's some things to see out here, for sure.
So if you're in the area, check out the Yuma Territorial Prison here in Yuma, Arizona. And if you like our content, please like, comment, subscribe, share with a friend. All right, guys, have a good one. Bye.